So, wow. When we started talking about releasing the Epstein files, I'm like, this is a no-brainer. President Trump will just roll them out on a big cart himself. Stacks and stacks and stacks of the Epstein files, because obviously Bill Clinton is all in there and Hillary Clinton. That's what I had been told all along, right? Well, it was the most shocking thing when I sat in a conference meeting and I learned that the president didn't want to release the Epstein files. I was like, what? Yeah, come to find out, he was very much against it. So we kept on trying and kept on talking about it. And then the president told Mike Johnson, no, do not bring that resolution to the floor for a vote. He told the Rules Committee, and Johnson told the Rules Committee, no, you will not mark up any bill in the Rules Committee that will allow the Epstein files to be released. And the resistance built and built and built. He told Pam Bondi, don't release the Epstein files. He told everybody, don't release the Epstein files. So we persisted because that's what we promised. That's what we campaigned on, transparency and accountability, especially to pedophiles. How is that complicated? So it got to be such a gigantic amount of resistance coming from the president and the speaker and everyone, the DOJ. I said, fine, I'll do the unthinkable. I'll go over there and I'll sign my name on a discharge petition that all the Democrats are signing their name on. Talk about crossing the aisle, me, a general in the MAGA army, crossing over to sign my name with a bunch of Democrats. Yeah, I did. Because women were raped when they were 16 and 14 years old. And he was a convicted pedophile, and we knew there were many with him. So I signed my name on the discharge petition. Oh, did I get my name on the naughty list then? Let me tell you. That became a real issue at the White House. Well, I'll never forget it. I was in my office in the Rayburn building, and I got a phone call from the president. And he was at the White House, and he wanted to talk to me about the discharge petition that I'd signed my name on. And he said, Marjorie, you're gonna have to take your name off that discharge petition. We can't let, this is a hoax. We can't carry this. This is a hoax. It's a Democrat hoax. And we've got to just put this away and stop doing this. And he said, my friends are going to get hurt. He said his friends would get hurt if we released the Epstein files. He said, Marjorie, these are good people. These are people you know at Mar-a-Lago. People in Palm Beach, they're going to get hurt by this. And I said, Mr. President, people have been hurt. These women have been hurt. I said, have you talked to them? I said, you should talk to them. You should have them in the Oval Office, Mr. President. You have everybody in the Oval Office. You have sports teams. You have world leaders. You have Al-Qaeda terrorists that are now leading Syria. You have Mamdani. I mean, you have everybody in the Oval Office. Surely you can have these women who were raped as teenagers. Talk to them. I talk to them all the time. As a matter of fact, many of them voted for you. That's what I told them. They voted for you. Epstein victims voted for Donald Trump. And he wouldn't have anything to do with them. And he told me his friends would get hurt. And I said, I'm not taking my name off the discharge petition. Thank you. Social dropped on my head like a nuclear bomb, where the president called me a traitor. And I read that and I thought, a traitor? Oh my gosh. I looked up the definition of traitor. I looked it up. I was like, I have to wrap my head around this. And so a traitor is a traitor to the United States of America. And I swore an oath to defend our Constitution. And I really thought about it. I said, he's not talking about what we think of the definition of traitor. He's saying I was a traitor to him. To him. And that's why I was a traitor to him. And that's why he was going to support a primary against me, just like he's doing to Thomas Massie, which is horrific. And I looked at that and I thought to myself, this is a badge of honor. It truly is. And I thought, this is so unbelievable to me. But here's what happened after that. Not a single Republican defended me. Not one that I served with. By the way, I had paid all my dues to the NRCC every Congress and supported all of them and endorsed many of them and donated money to them and helped them get reelected. And I had spent millions of my own dollars campaigning all over the country for President Trump. Think about that. But I was a traitor doing what we promised to do. I was the traitor. But no one defended me, not one person. And I said, oh my goodness, how can I continue to serve under this president and serve in a body of Congress where not a single person is willing to say, Mr. President, Marjorie's not a traitor. She helped you get elected. But then guess what happened? I started getting death threats, and it was about me being called a traitor. It was, you're a traitor. You deserve to die. You're a traitor. We're going to kill you. You're a traitor. But it was the one that came in, and they kept coming on my son, my youngest, my baby boy. We're going to snuff out his life. We're going to put a bullet in his head. Marjorie Traitor Greene. So I sent those to the president, texted him directly. I also sent them to Susie Wiles and James Blair. And I also sent them to the Vice President, J.D. Vance, Kash Patel. I sent them to all these people. I got no response from Susie Wiles. None. And she's a mother and a grandmother and a woman. I got no response from James Blair because he only cares about making money on campaigns. I did hear from Kash Patel. He said on it, but I haven't heard from him since. I don't know what he's on. J.D. Vance was very nice to me, compassionate and kind, and reassured me that he would do everything we could to find out what's going on. And then I heard back from Donald Trump. And I've saved these text messages. I'd probably get put in jail if I released them publicly, but I saved them. Where Donald Trump proceeded to tell me that it was my fault and that I deserve it. If my son gets killed, I deserve it because I was a traitor to him. That is our President of the United States. That's the man that says MAGA is whatever he wants it to be.